We're here today to talk about one of the main abilities that any entrepreneur should have, which is the willingness to explore. From our perspective, the willingness to explore, it's not just the obvious willingness to explore market opportunities. There's two other ways to understand willingness to explore, which are also important. One of them is the willingness to explore customer needs, and the third one would be the willingness to explore your own limits, your own capacities, in order to be able to go beyond them. So tell us, Javier, a little bit, which do you think are other key abilities that every entrepreneur should have?
Well, now we are going to talk not about professional or technical skills that you have to control to do your job. We are talking about social and personal skills. First of all is self-awareness. You got to know which are your strong points and weak points in order to strengthen the strong points and solve the problems created by your weak points. The second one is network awareness. An entrepreneur success depends not only on himself, clients and providers, but he has to consider the role that family and friends play in the success of the project. And on the other hand, he has to be aware that his success or failure affects these people around him. The third one is resilience. Resilience means not being strong, but rather being flexible. It means that if you find an obstacle in your path, you got to jump over it or turn over it, but you don't try to solve the problem beating on it with your head. The fourth one, very important skills, is foresighting. It means you have to be able to predict the future evolution of your business and its environment by analyzing the actual situation of your market, your society, users, clients, etc. Those are the skills needed by any kind of entrepreneur. But which are the specific skills for a social entrepreneur?
Well, for a social entrepreneur, obviously, many of the skills that were just mentioned are extremely relevant. But social entrepreneurs, as well as these skills that have been mentioned, are especially aware of the social impact that themselves and their project have in the environment and the people around them. And they purposefully plan to maximize that impact. So social impact for a social entrepreneur is not a byproduct of the regular activity, it's something that they pursue. And actually for them, the business side of the project is a way to gain revenue. And revenue is means to ends. Revenue is a way to fund the activity that has this social impact. And profit, when they have it, is something to reinvest so that they can continue to increase, to grow, to maximize the social impact that they're having, that they're looking for.
And considering the skills and abilities of entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs more particularly, do you think that entrepreneurship is a way of living or a way to earn your living?
I would say that for most entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship is actually a lifestyle. They don't usually see themselves as mere freelancers. They tend to see themselves as people pursuing a passion. And it is very difficult usually for them to detach themselves from the project. Actually, it is very important sometimes that they are able or they get to detach themselves from their project because starting up is not a speed race. It is actually a marathon. So you need to be able to sustain this effort over time. Many of these entrepreneurs are very much obsessed with the innovation that they're trying to bring to the market, with coming up with the next big thing, coming up with what in California they tend to call the unicorn, right? And this obsession with innovation is healthy, but it's healthy if managed properly. And maybe you can tell us a little bit more about innovation and what innovation is about in your own experience.
Well, talking about innovation in business, innovation is not only have a brilliant new idea to think about something that no one ever thought before. You got to keep always in mind the demands of the clients, users, citizens. If we are talking about social entrepreneurship, then innovation is answering an actual need with a new solution. Yeah, and we consider that the basis for success in in innovation and in business is this linking between innovation and need.
And how does this connect with finding an actual opportunity in the market?
Well, as I said, you got an opportunity when you got a new idea connected with a social need. Then the first question I have to ask myself when I'm having a new idea is if there is any demand for my proposal. And then if people is asking for something new, if they ask for what I'm offering them, then we got to consider that users, consumers, are currently very conservative. If they are using something that works reasonably well, they are not going to be looking for a change. Even if you promise them that what are you doing is better, they will prefer to stay in their comfort area, let's say. So that's why it's so important to know what to do with innovation when we have a new idea, and I think Conchita can tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, actually, it is a very challenging thing to do, to launch an innovative project, an innovative product or service, precisely because of what Javier was mentioning regarding the uneasiness that most consumers feel with respect to using something that is new to them. There is always the temptation when you launch an innovative product or service to develop in the oldish traditional way of keeping it secret and investing a lot of time and money without telling anybody about it because you're fearful of other people copying your idea, and then only putting the product in the hands of users the very last moment when everything has been invested already. And when I mean everything, I even mean yourself, and you're getting very much emotionally attached to your product and to your service. And that usually is a recipe for failure. At present, the trendiest methodologies to launch innovative products and services actually involve incorporating the customer and the user into the design process from the first minute. So methodologies such as human-centered design methodologies, design thinking methodologies, try to bring the user to the creative process from the beginning, and they're based on rapid prototyping and iteration of the products and services based on feedback from users. So the idea is that as soon as you have a first idea, you create a first prototype, you try to see how it works in use together with your customer, together with whomever's meant to be your user at the end of the day. And based on how they interact with that product, you evolve that product into what they want the most. Other methodologies that are very much used in launching projects, especially innovative products and services, is lean startup and agile development methodologies. And the basis of these methodologies is also to create what is called a minimum viable product, a first minimal version of your product that gives an answer to some of the basic hypotheses that you use when you launch a product or service in the market. The most critical of them being that this is a valuable product for your customer. And you really aren't sure of that until the moment you try to sell that to an initial customer. So again, it's about prototyping and iterating and finding the correct path to the market and making sure that the product and the service that you're creating is the exact product and service that meets the lifestyle and the needs of your customer. And again, tying it back to the beginning of our conversation, that is why that willingness to explore your own abilities, the needs of the customers, and market opportunities is so critical for entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you.